everyone, this is Shelly McDaniel. Welcome to my ribbon bow tutorial. I've had several people ask about how I make my ribbon bows on my different projects that I've shared on Instagram and other blog posts for different companies, so I thought I would share those today. I'm using 4 different widths of ribbon. This first one here is 5/8 inch. It's a Swiss dot grosgrain. And first I'm just going to kind of show you how I make my loops. This does take just a little bit of practice to kind of gauge exactly how large you want them to be. You may want them smaller, you may want them larger. It's really up to you and the project that you're working on. Next, I'm using just a really thin crochet thread, but you can use other baker's twine, or you can just use regular thread. And all we're going to do with that is just gather our center. So next, just kind of adjust these as you need them to be, so that they're even. And then I'm going to take that top part of the bow and pinch it back. Just kind of fold it back. And just hold that with your left hand, and then with your right hand, just pinch the other end down. Again, this takes just a little bit of practice, so just have some ribbon and just kind of practice getting that fold together, because this is really important to how your loops stand up. And I'm going to wrap this just around the center. Of course, if you want this not to show, you can place something in the center, a button, or you can also use a smaller piece of the ribbon and wrap it around the center to hide your thread. And then here I'm just going to show you the end results. I'm just kind of fluffing up the loops there. And then I'll come back with my scissors and trim these off. Just trim the tails off there. Okay, and then there's our 5/8 inch. This is just a standard bow, just a regular 2-loop bow. Then next I'm going to be using the 7/8 inch. This is just a solid grosgrain ribbon. Again, I'm just making my 2 loops as I did with the smaller width ribbon. And because you have a little bit more to work with, your fold is going to be just a little bit different. So again, I'm going to pinch that top back, the top part of that back, kind of gather there in the center, and then fold that bottom down again. And wrap that twine around that. And then just really pull it really good and tight there, really snug, so it really gives your center a good crease. And here I'm showing you another option. As I was saying, you can take the same ribbon and fold it in half, or I folded this actually into thirds, and then you can take that and wrap it around the center to hide that thread, and then just glue it with a little bit of hot glue or fabric glue. These are really, a lot of people do this when they're making their hair bows. Just gives it a really pretty finished look there. And then here I decided to dovetail the end. So I just fold that in half and then just cut in an angle. Okay, so there we have the 7/8 inch 2-loop bow. Okay, and I'm going to use this is actually a 1-inch ribbon, gingham ribbon. This is just a little bit harder to work with. It's kind of a taffeta ribbon, so for me it doesn't make the best loops, but I wanted to just give you another look of how, if you're working with different ribbon, really grosgrain ribbon is the best. I find the best as far as just standing up and really making the prettiest loops. But if you had a different ribbon that you really wanted to use, you can. It just may not give you the same effect. And this is a 4-loop or boutique style hair bow fold here. And you can see how I folded all that the same way. This is, if you turn it over, the back should line up like that. but you can just rewind this as you need to see. And there's some other really good boutique bow tutorials online as well. And this is tricky. This was really tricky with this ribbon. I had kind of had a hard time getting it to fold the way I wanted it to. But again, you're just folding those, and you're going to have three. You can see the three indentations. If I can get that folded back right, with the wider ribbon, you'll have three ridges in the center to show that you have the right fold. You'll have one going back, you'll have one in the very center, and then you'll have the next ridge, which will be going into that down part on the bottom of the ribbon. So there should be three little ridges in the center when you're using a ribbon this wide. Okay, and again, I'm just trimming. I'm trying to show you different ways that I trim the ends of these, just to give you a different idea of how to finish those ends off. Okay, so that is, again, the 1 inch. That's just a kind of a taffeta material there. And this is my favorite. I really like the 1.5 inch ribbon. This again is a grosgrain ribbon. It has a really good body to it. So these are really good for wreaths or hair bows, packages, different things like that. And again, I'm going to show you that boutique style bow. But if you wanted just to stop at the 2 loop, then you would just stop right there and then just fold it. But we're going to continue on. So with that 3rd loop, you kind of tuck that behind that 2nd loop and then bring around until you have your 4 loops. Just make sure they're all even. I'm going to trim that off so it can be easier to work with. And then the next important thing is to turn the ribbon over in your hand. You turn the bow over in your hand so that the tail that you've created first is at the top left of your hand, as you can see there. So you're just kind of turning it clockwise or counterclockwise, whichever way you want to do it. And here again, I'm folding back down. I'm folding a ridge in the center and then back down, so you have 3 different ridges there. Again, this is just a boutique style bow. So if you're a cheer mom, these are really come in handy when you're needing to make cheer bows. Little girls, this is good for their hair bows. And just trim those off. And there you have that one. That is the 1.5 inch ribbon. Okay, and here I just wanted to go ahead and show you just what the 2 loop ribbon would look like, just because I do use this width of ribbon on a lot of my projects. So again, I have my loops ready. I'm going to fold back at the top, hold in place with my left hand, then make another ridge in the center, and then another pinch there at the bottom, and then you'll see the 3 ridges really good right here. That's what gives you the really pretty stand-up loops on your bows. Another trick too is when you're pinching that together, really get your closure string or twine or whatever you're using really good and tight to give it a really nice fit there. I'm just going to trim the ends off again. Okay, now we're going to take all of the finished bows and I'm going to grab my lighter and I'm going to seal the ends of the ribbon. You just want to just barely run your lighter right along the edge of the ribbon there, and it melts it. It melts that polyester. It will melt that and seal the ends. You can also use Fray Check if you don't want to use a lighter. Okay, so there's a final look at all the different bows that we just created. And hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Thank you for visiting.